from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
We're halfway there, living on a prayer. It's hump day, a busy Wednesday here on Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mariah Janos.
And I'm Mike Davis. Busy show indeed. Lots to get to, from a Team USA heartbreaker to a VGK shutout. But we start with the biggest story of the day. The Runnin Rebels get a win in round one of the NIT.
Yeah, so let's go to California with the good guys taking on the Anteaters. UNLV started out hot as the Runnin Rebels were fired up from the jump. Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn doing what he does best, landing the bucket from the perimeter. He would end up in foul trouble though, so his 12 points only came in the first half. From there, Tyron Jones, Kamani Hamilton, they stole the show on both ends of the floor. Hamilton leading with 14 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Jones right behind him, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks. 5 Runnin Rebels finishing in double figures as they edge out UC Irvine 75-72.
Yeah, here's Coach Passner after the win.
On Saturday when we play Tulsa, we'll play at Tulsa. There's 16 teams remaining in the NIT, and there's going to be 32 remaining in the NCAA tournament. That means there's only 48 teams remaining to play in college basketball on Saturday, and we're one of them. Yes, we want to be in the NCAA tournament, but for this first year, this is a good step for us. And this is great exposure to keep getting for the program, more opportunities and reps for our guys. So it's about being a competitor. And so we want this program to be about grit and toughness, and that's what they showed today.
And here to break down the action from round one, we have a man who is already a Silver State Sports Live fan favorite, one, the only, Tony Cordasco with the Locked On Golden Knights podcast, which you can find right here on Triple SEN. So, Tony, it's good to see you. Right off the bat, let me ask you this. How surprised were you that the Runnin Rebels actually pulled this out last night?
Well, again, this is a schizo team, right? I mean, one that we've really come to know here this season. I thought they had a chance. I thought that they would play really loose. And the good thing is when it comes to like the NIT tournament, you have to have teams that want to play. And the Runnin Rebels proved that they showed up and they showed out. They had a good time. They had fun. You had 5 players in double figures, as you mentioned right there. And they hang on for the win. Got a little dicey there, up 18 in the game, and they win the game by 3. But that's Runnin Rebel basketball right now in 2026.
Ain't that the truth? Now, we just touched on it a little bit. There were big games from Kamani Hamilton, Tyron Jones, even Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn in that first half, and Howie Fleming Jr. Who was your MVP from the game, and who is the key for the success for the Runnin Rebels moving forward?
Well, if he doesn't foul out, it's got to be Kamani Hamilton, right? Because he's foul-plagued. It appears, 18 games he's fouled out of, leads the nation in that category. 14 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks in the game. The sequence that I really liked was he was called for an offensive foul with a little hook, and then he slam dunks the ball in the player's face, and they call the offensive foul. So, okay, that's waved off. Next trip down the floor, I liked what Kamani Hamilton did. He went right back at it. This time, okay, I'm not going to hook anyone, but he takes it to the hole and he slams it home again. Another facial there. And I thought it was really good on the poster. I liked what he did, and I liked his intensity. I mean, this is the player that we thought we were getting from High Point at the beginning. One other note about Dre, Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn, I'm still concerned about him. I don't know if he's worn out. I know he had the foul trouble. He only scored his points last night in the first half. But something just isn't right. I'm not seeing the lift that we saw early in the season. And the last 2.5 games, I don't think he's really played his game. I know that something that kind of held him back, a great gimmick defense last night by UC Irvine when they went into that diamond and one, and they had a player just shadowing him, and they really tightened things up defensively. But something might be up with him. I'm not quite sure. And Tyron Jones, I tweeted out last night, he's a freak. He's an absolute freak, man. He just goes and goes and goes, and he doesn't care. He's fun to watch, and he's great, on the interior, and he'll take a shot and pull up and steals and dribbling the ball and that behind the back maneuver that he always throws at you. I just really enjoy watching him. I hope he's here. I was going to say for 4 years. I hope he's here for 2 years. I hope he's here for another year next season.
Yeah, he always has a couple highlights that are just awe. You're just left there in awe. But let me ask you this. So it was a sweet upset for us. I really did, think for a second there as I'm watching the game in bed, thinking about, okay, we're going to have Tony on tomorrow to talk about this. Are they going to pull this baby out? But they did, okay? So now they're going to take on Tulsa in the second round of the NIT. They got to travel there. They also got to play Tulsa, who is the number 1 seed. So give us a prediction, Tony. Can they win this one again on the road?
No, I don't think they can. This is a team that I've been following all year round, and I just really like them. I'll give you guys a little insight here. Bet the over on this stinking game, because the highlight of our last trip to Tulsa with the Runnin Rebels, when we went from Hawaii and that warmth to Tulsa, was hanging out at the Waffle House. I mean, that was about it for me. But I've been watching them. They blew. We don't have it here, so I had to enjoy that. They blew the lead last night, the Hurricanes, and in overtime they pulled it out over the Stephen F. Austin Jacks. But a couple of players to watch. Jaden Lawal, he's a freshman, and he helped to rally this team back, and he plays really confident. He's a guard, and so I think we'll see a matchup there. Aid Papula had 18 points. Him and Kamani Hamilton, that's the matchup that the fans are asking for today. That's the one that they want to see. And then there's an interesting cat. The center is Tyler Behrend, and he served 5 years in the Navy, in the U.S. Navy, and now he's playing hoops. He's about 35, I think. I don't know how old he is, but he's really good in the post. And so that's another one of their weapons. But it is up and down the court. We saw Irvine kind of try to play in the half court against the Rebels. There will not be, my prediction, no half court offense in this matchup on Saturday.
All right, you gave us a lot to keep an eye on as we head into round 2. Tony, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. We love your takes. We'll see you very soon.
Thanks. Appreciate it. See you soon.
All right, still to come on Silver State Sports Live, we just can't stay away from Max Crosby, the star edge rusher, talking about his experience in Baltimore on his podcast, and we are reacting to it after the break.
And don't forget, the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is your home for the most live local sports. This week, catch the Desert Dogs on the road in Rochester Saturday night at 7. Then on Sunday, UNLV's softball team hosts San Diego State at noon. Both those games are airing live right here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
This is a whirlwind. I'm so excited, fired up. You know what I mean? This is a new opportunity, whatever. And you could just tell the energy was off. I dapped him up. He had a blank face. One of the Ravens guys called me and was like, yo, we're trying to figure this out. We're gonna get this done. Don't worry. 5 minutes later, CJ calls me. It's like, they're backing out. I wasn't supposed to be in Baltimore. And that's it. You know what I mean? I'm meant to be a Raider. It's through my damn core. And that's it.
And that's it. All right, that's the way the cookie crumbles for Max Crosby, as you saw there, filling everyone in on the shocking details on his own podcast, The Rush, and here to help us digest all of it is our very own Vince Sapienza. Vince, what's your reaction to that entire episode? I know you listened to it in the gym. You listened to the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep. I guess I was surprised with how much Max actually opened up about the experience. I guess the one takeaway I had, or actually a couple things. One, he had to fly commercial there. Two, he did not fly into Baltimore. He flew into D.C., then had to take a 2-hour car ride to Baltimore. Did not see GM or head coach until day 2 at the end of the day, taking all of his medicals and different meetings he had. When we say this was handled as poorly as you could handle something, I know the Baltimore Ravens aren't used to trading first-round picks and trading for top-tier talent, but they understand what it means to welcome in somebody, especially Max Crosby, who had his wife with him. All the different reports that said shady, didn't feel right, everything Max said, and again, it is just one perspective, that is his experience. We have not heard the full context from the Baltimore Ravens, but none of this is adding up in a way that makes the Baltimore Ravens look like, oh, okay, I understand it. Everybody is in Max Crosby's camp, and rightfully so at this point, when you consider the fact that he didn't even speak with the GM or head coach till the end of the day, after his medicals. Yeah. And if we put all the pieces together of all the different reporting, Trey Hendrickson was in the building earlier in the day at the same time Max was there. Now, for those that are in the Ravens camp saying, well, they wanted to sign both of them. Okay, that's fine. We all want a lot of things, but the reality is the likelihood of both those things happening, not very high. So when you look at it from Max's standpoint, he's trying to come to grips. He's celebrating the weekend, 6 years of sobriety with family and friends. The trade happens. He's trying to get his life together. He goes out to Baltimore thinking, not necessarily he's going to be wined and dined, but thinking he's going to get wined and dined as a premier.
I mean, it's weird from an organization. The Shoddy, Ozzie Newsome used to run this organization with such class. And, DaCosta was there during all those years. So it's weird that a top-tier organization that it's viewed as that from media members that
Mike, they didn't even have a high-level executive of any kind
to speak with him,
to meet him at the airport. Like, it's one thing if you're going to have him fly into D.C. and look, there were some flight issues. We wanted to get you on the East Coast. Like, that's one thing. You didn't even have a Ravens representative there to be in the car with him say, hey, this is sightseeing. At bare minimum, none of that. To say this was handled poorly is maybe the understatement of the offseason. For the Raiders, couldn't have gone better in terms of what they were able to accomplish, because Max Crosby talked about it in the podcast, which I also thought was fascinating. On Monday, he gets in late to Baltimore. He's just trying to decompress, wind down. He turns on his phone, and it's Raiders sign this, Raiders sign this, Raiders sign this. He's like, what world am I living in right now? So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
but they had the jet ready to take him back to Vegas.
Oh,
well, that was the agent making sure.
So the weird just keeps getting weirder with this.
It's strange.
But let me ask you this. So does this now mean to you, as we're looking forward, we're going to stop looking back. I know I'm still salty myself. But looking forward, does this change the way that you're viewing Max Crosby's time in the future with the Raiders? Does this signal to you he's going to be a Raider forever? Or does this maybe still signal to you that a trade could happen? Or is this he back in black and that's what it's
forever's a long time. And as we saw, anything can happen. And that's always has to be the caveat. Right now, that book is shut. Max Crosby is a Raider, and he's going to remain a Raider in the silver and black. Now, that's not to say this conversation, and I'm sure we're going to be right back here on the couch, come trade deadline of the NFL season this coming fall, this is going to be a topic of conversation. Just because Max is back, that doesn't change the timeline for John Spytak, Clint Kubiak, in terms of building this thing the right way. If this can be an overnight top ramen, instant satisfaction, great. That is not the expectation, though. The expectation is this is going to be a slow build. So come this fall, when the Raiders do take a couple L's early on in the season, this chatter is going to come up again. The question will be, as it was this offseason, what does Max want to do? Does Max want to leave? And I think more than ever, he wants to stay here in Las Vegas, because I think, and again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but listening to the podcast, listening to him talk, he says, God doesn't make mistakes. Things happen for a reason. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I believe he was meant to be a Raider. He believes that. And I think based on what transpired, which was as bad of a situation as you could a week ago, I believe he thinks this is where he belongs. And let's see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're going to shift gears a little bit from the gridiron to the ice. VGK was at home last night taking on the Buffalo Sabres, and it was not pretty. A shutout 2-0 as Sabres goaltender nope, it's not happening. Made 28 saves and got his first shutout of the season.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yep.
You're proud of me.
I was very impressed that you got it.
That was not happening for me, not today. Sorry.
Yeah, so listen, the Golden Knights, they get a beatdown from the top team in the Atlantic Division. Meanwhile, VGK continues to slide in the Pacific Division, now sitting in third behind the Oilers and the Ducks. So, Vince, there's 14 games left on the schedule for Vegas. Is it officially panic mode, or can VGK turn this baby around?
We're getting there. We are getting there, and that is not something I thought we would be saying with 14 games left in the regular season, about a month and a half left in the regular season. Look, on paper, I said it at the beginning, I still stand by it. On paper, this is a top 4 team in the National Hockey League without question. The problem is it's not played on paper, it's played on ice. And right now, the Golden Knights are not playing like they are a Stanley Cup contender. There's one issue I have, and it's listening to head coach Bruce Cassidy, specifically after this game against the Buffalo Sabres. He says, we're not making the plays, the difference-making plays at the right time. The other teams are. That's not something this team has ever been accustomed to. They're accustomed to being that team, even earlier on in the season. When they were losing early on in the first, second period, they were put on the rally hats and they came back in the third. We're not seeing a lot of that right now. The time of year is real. Teams are locking down defensively. Teams are being much more understanding of time, place, standings, things of that nature. On Saturday, the Golden Knights pick up a win, their third straight. They're in first place in the division. Three days later, one loss, now they're in third place in the division. If you bring those standings back to give a better look, Edmonton, second place in the Pacific right now, just lost Leon Draisaitl for the regular season. That is a big loss for them. The Anaheim Ducks, we're all waiting for that shoe to drop. It did for a portion of the regular season, but it seems like they found their form once again. It's going to be a dogfight all the way to the very end for the Golden Knights, and I guess the good news, the silver lining, if you will, they're going to be in playoff mode starting now because every point matters, every game is important, and they cannot afford to take too many more L's the rest of the way.
Now, before we let you go, just really quick, are you sensing a sense of urgency?
The urgency is there. So if you look at that Buffalo Sabres game, the Golden Knights actually played really, really well. But that was a playoff-esque type game. It's great to play well. You didn't get the result. This is a results-based business. And especially this time of year for a team that is as paid like they are, as talented, skilled, and the veterans. There's a lot of Stanley Cup winners in that room.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of excuses as to why this is happening, but they have 14 games to get it fixed and to change the narrative going into the postseason.
All right. Thank you so much, Vince. We appreciate it. You always are a results guy here, so we appreciate that.
We live for the results. All right, coming up, we have good news, more results from the WNBA, a verbal agreement between the league and the Players Union. We have more on the historic deal next.
All right, welcome back to Silver State Sports Live. Mariah, thank the basketball gods because there's a verbal agreement between the WNBA and the Players Union.
Yes, finally, we've been dragging this on for weeks. So let's take a look at the finer details here. First of all, the salary cap, major increase from $1.5 million to $7 million. Secondly, the Supermax is increasing from $250,000 to $1.4 million just in year one. The average salary will also increase from around $120,000 to $600,000. And next, the revenue sharing is going to around 20%. And lastly, there will be some improved player benefits, such as the terms for housing. Also, the base salary is jumping from $66,000 to $300,000. So these are massive moves.
Okay, so we got a verbal agreement coming together. It was in the early morning hours today. We saw some of those significant changes, so clearly progress. But overall, I want to know what you think about this deal. You're so plugged into everything WNBA-wise. Were you surprised it took this long, and do you think the moves were significant enough to really warrant how long it took to get there?
Listen, these arguments, these conversations have been going on for 16 months. What was frustrating about all this, I'm happy about the deal. The players absolutely deserve this. This was the right move. I'm glad that the two sides could come to an agreement here. However, the fact that the day of the deadline that the league set so that the upcoming season wouldn't be impacted, that's the day the two sides decided to get in a room and work this thing out, and 100 hours later, we have an agreement. Why did we not have this conversation months ago? I'm not understanding why they waited to the last second, and now there's only 51 days to do 2 expansion team drafts, a collegiate draft, 100 free agents on the market.
So do we start on time?
They claim that they can still get it done. I really do not think so. I think there will still be a delay. At least the exhibition games will get squashed.
All right, good to know. All right, let's shift over to baseball now.
Harper sends a fly ball to deep center field. Better late than never. Bryce Harper has tied the championship.
Woo!
All right, so some heroics from the hometown kid, Bryce Harper, tying the game down 2-0, but it wasn't enough, as in the top of the ninth, Venezuela starts doing their thing with some old-fashioned baseball, a walk, a pinch runner, a stolen base, and boom, Eugenio Suarez, a double, and USA loses 3-2. They couldn't do anything even in the bottom of the ninth as Roman Anthony gets struck out. So there you go. The WBC title is for Venezuela. So Mariah, heartbreaker in true fashion, but I still think that DR game before took a lot of energy out of our guys. Let me ask you this. What does this game, this loss to Venezuela, mean about the state of USA baseball? Is there anything to read into here, or do we just pack it and leave it?
I don't think so. Listen, it's technically still spring training. These guys are still getting back into the swing of things, pun intended there, I guess. But I didn't love how quiet the bats were, but when you're going up against Eduardo Rodriguez, that can happen sometimes. My heart broke for Roman Anthony. I would hate to be the last batter up, but I don't think that Team USA is in jeopardy, that there should be any panic around the future of the team.
You're a Boston gal. I thought you were going to throw Aaron Judge under the bus.
Aaron Judge, I was surprised, but I'm not going to complain that Aaron Judge isn't doing well. I hope that translates to the regular season.
All right. I gave you the opportunity. That's all I can say. Coming up, of course, we're taking in the March Madness action. We're going to be revealing our brackets when Silver State Sports Live returns. All right, welcome back. That's my Final Four right there. I'm a big fan, Mariah, of Arizona this year. Koa P, Jaden Bradley, Tommy Lloyd. I just love this team. They haven't lost since February 14th.
Okay.
I think they're going to keep it up.
Okay, well, here's a look at mine. I didn't want to lean towards the 1 seeds. I decided, let's go 3 seed. Give me the Fighting Illini to win it all. We'll see you guys tomorrow.